Welcome back, peeps. So I was just checking out my newly repotted orchids down here, and I noticed that the air plant container down here is looking kind of drab. You can see we've got some hard water stains here. It's really dusty. The stones also have hard water stains on them. The plants themselves could use to be cleaned up a little bit. So we're gonna see what we can do to rejuvenate this display and make it look 10 times better. So stick around till the end, and I'm gonna try a little hack to really make this display stand out. But first, let's take a look at the ponytail palm over here. A few people have asked for an update on that. Here it is, looking good, hanging out by the window over here. It gets indirect light most of the day here, only about an hour or two of direct light at this time of year. So doing good though, looking great. I give it water about once a week. But what we're gonna talk about today is the air plant container. So let's get to it. Okay, folks, let's take a closer look at these guys under the light here. So you can see that this plant actually has a pup that's about the same size as the mother plant. And that one flowered last year. I did try and self-pollinate that, and it didn't produce any seeds though. So you can see there's a few others in here. They're suffering from a little dryness. This one had, at one time, had some mold on it when we had a lid on this container. So that was definitely something that was detrimental. You definitely want air circulation in these. Now these stones, what we used to do to try to keep it humid in here was just dump water in these stones until up to about the bottom of this. You can see there's a little bit of a reservoir down there, and the evaporating water would keep it a little bit more humid in there. But you can see it caused a lot of lime deposits, and it's really making this display not look that great. So the rocks are looking really dull. The glass is stained. We've also got quite a bit of dust on this glass. The plants need a good watering as well. So first thing we're gonna do is get these guys out of here and get them some water. So let's pull these guys out. And then we just try and get these guys right in here. I'm gonna put the pup side down. Now this is RO water with just a tiny little bit of orchid fertilizer in there. So now the next thing we need to do is clean out this container. So what I'm gonna do is actually get these stones in some water and wash them off. So to get started cleaning up these stones and the hard water stains off the container, what I'm gonna do is use some vinegar and just some water. Now, I don't have much vinegar left, as you can see here. So I'm just gonna pour the rest in and then fill the rest with water and see how far it gets us. I guess normally you'd use like a 50-50 solution, but let's give this a shot. So I'm gonna take the vinegar. Oh yeah, that's not much at all. That's unfortunate. Oh, okay. So luckily it didn't take much. So there we go. We got it soaking in the water vinegar now. You can see that vinegar is really doing its job in there. It's kind of bubbling away at those lime deposits. So we'll leave that soaking for half an hour or so, and we'll come back and get this thing done. Okay, folks, so it has been about an hour and a half since these guys started soaking in the vinegar and water, and it looks like the bubbling is all slowed down. I didn't really mean to leave it in for this long, but it's definitely not gonna hurt. So I am gonna go empty out this vinegar and water, and then we'll get these stones cleaned up and get this back on the shelf. So we've got these stones and they're looking kind of dull now that they're not wet anymore. And that's part of the problem. So what can we do to keep these stones looking really nice so that the display looks great all week long and not just when the stones are wet, if they do get wet? So what we're gonna do is use a little mineral oil, a very light coating of mineral oil over the surface of all the stones and try and give them that wet look all week long. Now, this mineral oil says that it's an intestinal lubricant, but that's not how we're going to be using it. What we're going to do is just give the stones a nice wet look and see how it goes. So I don't keep any water in the bottom of that tray anymore, so that's not an issue. But I am going to put the same amount of stones back in and maybe change up the display a little bit. So let's check it out. There we go. The stones are looking great with that oil on them. They look even better with the oil than they do when they're wet. So we are not going to leave this much oil on them though. I don't really want to get the oil on the plants too much, and I feel like there's a generous coating like this, it's just going to get on the bottoms of them, and we don't need that. The mineral oil is non-toxic, but I mainly use the mineral oil for treating cutting boards, wood cutting boards. But like it can be used, it can even be ingested orally, so it's definitely non-toxic. But we'd like to keep it off the plants as much as possible. All right, I am really happy with the way this turned out. I think it is looking great with the stones oiled up and the glass cleaned up really well. The air plants have been freshly watered, and I kind of trimmed some of the dead material off the ends of the leaves, so it's looking really good. And I can't wait to get this back out on the shelf. So let's head out there, take a look at what it looks like on the shelf, and do a little before or after. Let's check it out. Here we are, back out in the living room. The plants are back on the shelf where they want to be, and they are looking fantastic. So I am really happy with the way this turned out and the way it's looking. And let's take a look at what we had before we did the work. Oh no. Yes, I am glad we got this done, and they are looking great and ready for the rest of the week. So anyway, let's take a quick look at the grow lights up here. Just some low wattage LEDs stuck up there with foam tape, but they do the trick. Thanks for watching. See you next time.